Well, well, well. Hey, I bet you never thought I'd see you guys again. Huh. Sorry about the slow decline in content. I've been thinking about what I should be doing. I want to do more covers. I want to do more gameplay. I want to do more acting stuff. Currently, I'm busy with the end of my fall and winter college semester. I'm planning on reapplying for next year. And I'm also in the process of working on Amnesia Homecoming, which, don't worry, it's still happening. I just need to figure everything out first. But hi, my name is Nick. You probably already knew that. Now, I just got back from what I believe to be one of the best cinema experiences I think I've ever had in a long time. I haven't felt this way about a film since Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That was like 3 years ago. All right? Or actually, no, wait, when did Sonic 3 come out? 2024 is what I meant to say. I haven't had an experience like this since 2024 with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This is an amazing experience. Now, you probably already know what I'm talking about. I don't need to beat around the bush with you. But, let me say right now, okay? Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is amazing. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of the film, which means nothing for the post-credits scene. There is one. I'm going to tell you that. Nothing for any new content that may have been added that was omitted from the trailers for a particular reason, and nothing major, like no major story beats or nothing, all right? It is a plain, simple review of the film that I personally am going to give to you. It is a full rundown of the things seen in the film, without revealing too much, because in good old-fashioned Scott Cawthon ways, I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm going to let you figure this one out for yourself. But at the same time, welcome to the spoiler-free review. Again, it's been a while, but I'm back in style. So get set to have some fun. I'll bring you some action and some satisfaction. What the fuck am I saying at this point? But yeah, here's the spoiler-free review of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. One of the best films that come out this year. And the Minecraft movie came out this year too, so very clearly there's a lot of competition here. So, what can I tell you about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that hasn't already been said? It's a great game, for one. I personally plan on streaming it at some point, once I get the available funds to do so. But in any other case, this is an amazing thing to happen. We see the toy animatronics for the first time. We see Mangle for the first time. We see the Wizards for the first time. It's amazing stuff. They're all really well made, especially the Wizards, because from the trailers and stuff like that, they look amazing, all right? They all look very accurate to their in-game counterparts. The toys especially, I thought there would be at least a little bit of a difficulty spike in recreating the toys and how they looked. No, actually, they look amazing. Toy Bonnie's awesome, Toy Freddy's awesome, Toy Chica's definitely awesome, and Mangle's done the most justice, purely because of the fact that she's just an amalgamash, and they managed to actually capture that really perfectly. The marionette is also a very key player in this film, and it isn't that hard to do the marionette, but at the same time, it also kind of is. You have a very skinny, very slender character, but they figured that out in the film. They figure out how to deal with it in the film, and it's amazing. The Wizards look just as good, if not maybe a little bit better. I am kind of disappointed with the way that they took for the Wizards, but it's still amazing, regardless. They follow along with the lore pretty clearly about how those withered animatronics are prototypes for the toy animatronics, which eventually ended up being used for scraps and stuff like that. That's amazing stuff right there. Now, one thing I will say, though, is I am really glad that they actually kept in the mechanic where every animatronic except for Foxy doesn't believe that you're an animatronic if you put on the mask. That is an amazing little touch. I really like the way that they did that, and you know, that's pretty cool stuff. Again, spoiler free. I'm not going to be revealing any key moments, just things that you probably might have already guessed from what you've seen in the trailers. Now, another thing that we've seen in the trailers is Matthew Lillard's William Afton staring down a long hallway. Now, I can confirm, without revealing too much, that those scenes do appear in the film, but not part of a real-life sequence. It's more like a dream sequence, if anything. As we've probably already guessed, as you've probably already guessed, Vanessa's been having these weird dreams, and they all correlate to her father in some way. She's having the same issue as Mike in the first movie, where he's just dreaming about things that he can't necessarily control or alter. They've already happened, but he believes that he's to blame for all of that. Now, one thing I will say is that during the process of this film, she learns to kind of take that a little bit up and up, stuff like that. Now, from the trailers, we've seen a little girl hold a little boy in her arms. She's crying for no reason. I'm going to confirm for you that it is Charlotte. That is Charlotte Emily, okay? Now, this might seem like a huge story beat to some, but we probably already guessed this like the moment that we saw it. We saw Henry Emily, we saw the marionette. We were already probably going to guess that was Charlotte regardless. So I am going to confirm that for you. That is indeed Charlotte Emily from the games as marionette. That is something I can reveal for you right now. What I can't reveal for you, though, well, you'll have to find out for yourself. Sorry to be all cheesy like that, but I mean, if you want a full review of this, I'm going to wait till at least 2.5 weeks till after the film releases. Because technically, I got early access. I bought a ticket online at AMC, a theater near me, and it doesn't release until tomorrow, but I had an early screening tonight. And that's why I'm making this video. And it's a really great film, and I legitimately appreciate all the detail and effort that went into it. Now, another thing that I figured I might as well tell you, yes, the science teacher does get killed for a very good reason. Oh, what, the science teacher? You mean the guy that got pulled through a window by Toy Chica that we saw in the trailer? Yeah, that's a science teacher. And in the film, he's mean to Abby a lot. He completely just disregards her and her, efforts to actually, be successful in the field of robotics. Because in the film, that's kind of a small portion of what the film is, Abby takes up an interest in robotics after seeing the animatronics, and she actually makes a fully functioning model, only for the science teacher to break it, because he's kind of a fucking dick. Also, Wayne Knight, you did amazing at that role. I don't know what it is with you and characters being dickheads, but you did phenomenal at that, and I am so proud of you for that one. Well done. You're a bitch. But anyways, it's still really, really great to see. And the best part about it is I actually dressed up as Bonnie. I'm going to put up an image on screen. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to probably put it right in the middle so you guys can see it. I came dressed to the event as Bonnie. I had this shirt on underneath it because I didn't have a bow tie. So I figured, hey, why not just give it a little bit of a subtle coloring, I got blue on top of red. So there's that. What else can I tell you without really spoiling much of anything? Oh yeah, I can tell you this. The voice cast was amazing for the animatronics, the toy animatronics specifically. We had Toy Freddy being played by Kellen Goff, as we all already knew probably. Megan Fox's Toy Chica, she did really great as well. I really liked the way that they did the voice for these characters. Now, the one I was the most skeptical of actually was Matt Pat as Toy Bonnie. Everybody thought that he was going to be using his regular voice, or at the very least a more higher pitched voice. Now, I can confirm for you, it is a different voice entirely. So much so that if you didn't know who Matt Pat was, or if you didn't know if he was going to be in the movie or not, somehow, if you lived under a rock, then you would have actually probably guessed that was a completely different voice actor. You wouldn't have even guessed that that's Toy Bonnie. Now, I will say this, though. Kellen Goff didn't do his iconic Toy Freddy voice for Toy Freddy. Instead, it was more of a glam rock Freddy kind of situation. Now, Megan Fox, obviously, knocked it out of the park with Toy Chica. I highly believe that she was probably hand-chosen by Scott himself, probably, to play this role. But I digress. Mangle, of course, doesn't have a voice actor, but, it's nice to know that she still makes the sounds that he's known to make. Now, I will say this. A lot of stuff happened in the film that I can't share with you yet, but I want to. Again, the main story beat is more or less the same as the first one. Animatronics come to life, and Abby's in danger because of it, and Mike and Vanessa try to, help out with that. They try to be like, hey, don't do that. Except, of course, now the roles are reversed with Mike and Vanessa, with Vanessa having weird nightmares that she can't really control, and Mike just kind of being, like, honestly kind of mean. Like, at the end of the film, yeah, sure, there's kind of a reason why he does that, but at the beginning of the film, he's just kind of a dick. Like, I don't really even know how to explain it. He's just more mean in this one. It's really, really weird. Now, I will say this. There is one thing in this film that I enjoyed more than anything else, and that's the inclusion of a new character. Now, I'm not going to tell you who this character is. I'm not going to drop any hints. I'm not even going to say who the actor was for this one. You're going to have to find that one out yourself. But at the end of the day, it's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's better than the first movie in a lot of different aspects. It's scarier. It's got more action scenes. It has more jump scares. I actually jumped out of my seat quite a few times watching this film purely because of how well executed that these scares were. They weren't just cheap shock value scares. No, they built up to it. And just when you think that they're going to like do a fake out where it's like, oh, it's building up all the tension, they kind of do that sometimes, actually. They give you a fake out scare. They make you think something's going to happen, and then nothing happens. And you're sitting there with that anticipation. It just quietly festers itself. And then as soon as a scare happens, all of it comes out at the exact same time. That was some real shit, honestly. And I will say this. To all haters of Balloon Boy out there, let's just say your wish is granted tenfold. You know which wish I'm talking about. Now, about the credits, actually. I suppose I could share one thing about the credits to you, and this one thing is, what is it again? Oh, right, the Living Tombstone? Again? Dude, I expected it in the first movie. There was no way they weren't going to do that. Like, that's an iconic song, but then they had to pull out the other FNAF song from Living Tombstone. Oh my God! Dude, it was honestly insane. It was insane to see. This movie is a lot more than just a sequel to me.
Hi, this is Nick here. I get a little bit more serious in this part, so if you really don't want to watch that, just skip like near the end of it. Okay, see ya.
Megan 2.0. Listen, I know I just kind of glazed Blumhouse for a second for being a really great company for making this film, but the Megan movies weren't that good in my opinion. I watched them. They were and Megan 2.0 kind of took a detour from horror and turned into more of like a spy, espionage kind of movie. It was really weird in my opinion, but I digress. But Five Nights at Freddy's 2, in my humble opinion, is one of the best sequels I've seen in a long time. I say long time as if I didn't just talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out like 2 years ago. So very clearly I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be talking about, but still. Wow. That was amazing though. I personally enjoyed that film. I went to go see it with friends. It was the greatest experience. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. So I can show you this. To show you how serious I am for this. I went out and I bought the entire graphic novel trilogy of the Five Nights at Freddy's books. All three of them. The Silver Eyes. The Twisted Ones. And the Fourth Closet, which, by the way, to all of you book fans out there, the people who read the books like it's the Bible, okay? Okay, you're going to enjoy this one a lot. The first movie may have taken inspiration from the books on a lot of different parts. But this movie, you're going to love a lot. Okay, I'm having a really rough time trying to put these in again. There we go. Yeah, I did it. I'm competent. But yes, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is amazing. There are a few things that I have wrong with it, but I can't share any of this with you yet. This is a spoiler-free review. if you want a spoiler-filled review, you're going to have to wait a little bit for that one. All I can tell you is that despite its flaws that the film has, despite everything negative that I have to say about the film, focus for now on the positives. As a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's since 2016, I wasn't there for the craze when it first started, but a few years later, I was there. You know, I've seen countless creative people use Five Nights at Freddy's to their advantage. I have seen countless creative people be involved in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. Purely because they love the series, purely because they love the characters, the story. They love all of that. And me personally, as someone who's been an actor for quite a long time now at this point, or at least as much of an actor as you can get by doing stage productions at like your college or high school or just doing performances online, that's still a very impressive, very unique thing that I love and adore with all of my heart. As someone who looks at these characters, these animatronics, and just sees a whole legacy behind them, as someone who's been there since nearly the beginning and is stuck with them till the end, even through the rough times, even through the things that people didn't like, I still enjoyed it a lot. And that's saying something, because for a lot of series that I'm into, there's been more than just ups and downs. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that needs to be taken into consideration. Take Sonic the Hedgehog, for example. Most of his stuff has just been on the down and down, but then a lot of things started happening that made this franchise, this failing thing, come up again. Personally, me, I feel like Five Nights at Freddy's has gone through something similar. For the longest time, there's been way too many things that have negatively impacted the franchise, but then something happened along the way. I don't know if it was the conclusion of Pizzeria Simulator that did it, or maybe more storytelling in the novels, or hell, even in some of the novels that aren't necessarily canon to the overall main storyline, or more or less a spin-off, or just a completely fictional story, something happened that made this franchise the way it is. And I do believe that these movies are making it better. Recently, we've had Secret of the Mimic, Help Wanted 2, FNAF Security Breach Ruin, if anything. And with all of this coming on the up and up, everybody's enjoying it more. There's more content to endure. There's more story. There's more heart put into it, if you will. It's not as cold as like a spring-locked suit. It has warmth to it. It has really, really great warmth to it. And even though Scott Cawthon may be somewhat retired and is taking a step back from a lot of the more, major projects, at least in the games, he's still making it like it is. That is his brainchild. And he's doing a fine job with it. He's doing a great job doing what he does best. And that's making a series that everybody can enjoy. And to think that all of this, every single piece of it, even this review right now, it all started when a failing game developer tried to make one last game, and it got popular. That not only proves to everyone else who thinks that their creative endeavors aren't important or won't do well, but it also proves to me, and to you watching this, hopefully, that no matter how hard things might seem, no matter how many times your creative endeavors are just taken away and stripped from you, and told that they won't get you anywhere. I have a YouTube channel with almost 900 subscribers right now. That's amazing. I couldn't have done it without any of you, and I couldn't have done it without any of the creative influences I've had on my life. For example, right? Back to the Future. One of the greatest film trilogies of all time, sure, but it's also one of the main reasons why I keep going as a content creator, because things like that, small ideas like that, lead up to bigger things. Or, actually, I'm going to use this. I bought this for my mom, actually. Michael Jackson, one of the greatest musicians of all time. He directly inspires me to create covers of music, to actually want to create music myself, make my own actual songs. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying. Or, again, Scott Cawthon, a failing game developer who was on his last leg, created Five Nights at Freddy's, and it took off like a rabbit. It became a national pop culture sensation, just like Back to the Future or Michael Jackson. Or hell, even to an extent, the Game Boy. Right? Nintendo hadn't had anything in the handheld division, and then they made this. They made Super Mario Land, they made Tetris. Why? Because they knew they could. I'm going to put this back up here, I don't want it to break. But it also inspires everyone out there, you included. This film has brought out a lot of that in me. If one man can make all of this happen, I know I've got a shot at this. And I couldn't thank him or any of the other influences in my life or you. I couldn't thank anyone enough for this kind of opportunity. Give me a moment. I'm going to end this off by saying this. Blumhouse, Scott Cawthon, and everyone involved in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movies, or even the Five Nights at Freddy's movies in general, thank you. Now again, a spoiler full review will come out within at least 2.5 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks if I'm really busy. But I just want to say to everybody, keep doing what you're doing. It's going to work. And if it doesn't, try it again. Do something new with it. Make something that you're proud of. My name is Nick. And have a nice day. Also, Blumhouse, if you can, please contact me for the third FNAF movie, okay? Please, I beg of you. I will play an extra. I will be like a background character. I wouldn't even have any lines. I beg of you, please. Oh my God, what am I doing? I don't know if they're even gonna see this. And if they do, Blumhouse, Jason Blum, whoever runs the media accounts or whoever brings things up to Jason himself, please, just let me be a part of the third movie. I beg of you. I will be like, it'll be like the first movie, a security guard working over at, an office, and then I just get killed by something. I beg of you. Please, I am the biggest supporter in all of this. But again, all of that aside, you guys did great. Once again, have a great day. Nick off.